Let me get to this. The newly reinstated Iran sanctions are now a day and a half old, and some countries are punching back against the U.S.'s move to ban doing business with the radical Islam theocracy. Germany said it expects Washington to bend by considering European interests when drafting more sanctions against Iran. And China is defending its business ties with the Middle Eastern nations, saying it's going to ignore the new measures the U.S. has implemented. While nations are pushing back, this is interesting. Some of their companies within those countries are already taking sides, and sometimes it's not on the side of their own countries. Joining me now on a Fox Business exclusive is Stuart Eizenstat. He's the former U.S. ambassador to the European Union, but also the man who organized the sanctions against Iran back in the late 1970s. During the hostage crisis and revolution. Ambassador, your background is extremely pertinent here. Let us begin with how effective your sanctions were against, it was the Ayatollah Khomeini back during the revolution, right?
That's right, Liz. As I describe in my new book, President Carter, the White House Years, I helped organize sanctions against Iran when they took our hostages. We froze tens of billions of dollars of their assets. We refused to do business with them in any way, buy their oil, and it did not work. And the reason it didn't work to free the hostages, Liz, was because we were unable to get our allies to join us in taking tough action. That may seem remarkable, but it in fact happened. The president called over 25 heads of state. This is Germany, all the European countries, Canada, Japan. None of them were able to help us. In the Clinton administration, I was also involved in leading the sanctions effort against Iran and Cuba in the Iran-Libya Sanctions Act and the Helms-Burton Act. And there, Liz, we applied a new type of sanction, which President Trump is now employing, called secondary sanctions, in which the U.S. sanctions non-U.S. companies who are doing business with Iran. There we ended up waiving the sanctions because we got compliance by the EU to take tougher action against Cuba and Iran. But the new reality, Liz, we have now is twofold. One, it may be that the Trump administration will not waive sanctions. Already 100 European companies are announcing plans to pull out of Iran. And second, and this is completely new, is in 2018, this very year, the EU amended their so-called blocking legislation, which bars compliance by European companies with those U.S. sanctions. So it puts those companies between a rock and a hard place.
So, Ambassador, it's almost like going back to the Islamic Revolution, which was violent and horrific, and we had the U.S. Embassy hostages there for so unbelievably long. It's almost going back to that, where our allies aren't exactly gung-ho on this. I guess I understand in part because they had gone ahead and signed the nuclear deal with the United States. And of course, President Trump said, you know what, it's not working. They're still setting off all kinds of ballistic missiles and flexing their muscles. What now happens? Because you've actually got companies within these countries like Nestle, Mercedes of Germany, Total of France, saying, you know what, we're with the U.S. on this. We'd rather do business with the United States than with Iran. It matters more to us. Could be a business decision, but who cares?
Liz, it's a very good point. Let's remember, whatever one thinks about the JCPOA, the nuclear deal with Iran, everyone agrees that the only reason Iran came to the table was because the Obama administration combined U.S. sanctions with tough EU sanctions. Now we have a situation in which, having signed that, the European governments want to stay in, but the European companies have to protect their shareholder interests. And so what they're saying is, if I have to choose between doing business with the small Iranian economy, although it may be profitable in some areas, and the U.S., there's no choice. But then that puts them right in the crosshairs of the EU legislation, which bars them from complying. So they really are caught, again, between a rock and a hard place. And the real question then is, how much will the EU enforce those laws?
Well, let me bring in what just happened within this hour, and that is that the State Department has just slapped a new sanction, or announced that it will, on Russia because of this nerve agent Russia allegedly used, you know they did, on a UK citizen, Sergei Skripal, who had been a spy who defected and moved to the United Kingdom. Give me your sense of what this really says about the administration and its seriousness about really holding Russia's feet to the fire.
Well, I'm very glad they did that, and I think it shows that they're very serious about sanctions. And having announced with great fanfare that the administration's pulling out of JCPOA and that they're now going to impose the first round of sanctions now, and Liz, in November, an even tougher round with energy sanctions and financial sanctions. If their bark is as tough as their bite, and they do both, then the Iranian economy is going to really be hurting, because we already have 100 European companies pulling out. This is also going to strain, however, EU transatlantic U.S. relations. So you've got a situation where the companies are caught and they don't want to be sanctioned by the U.S., but the governments, in effect, want to keep in the JCPOA, and that's the real bind. I think in the end, the companies are going to do what's best for their shareholders, and I doubt that the EU will be able to effectively enforce their blocking legislation.
Ambassador, thank you. You had a front row seat during a historic time in the 70s, and thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Ambassador Stuart Eizenstat.